Looks like we saw a bit of a dump coming in. Told y'all I would drop back on here. Um, Today is officially the 4 week mark where I'm supposed to add $50 more. Um, I was going to shift it to Friday, but if this dumps anymore, I'm going to go ahead and do it today. We lost the area of control. We went above it. We really need to stay above the area of control on the daily. We were above it on the hourly. You can see that for a couple hours. We lost it. Seeing a bit of a dump now. Um, this could mean we're going all the way down to 92, which is the value area low. There could be a drop even lower, but only time will tell. Um, Again, not super shaken by this. This is where money is made. Here's the Ethereum. Um, the Ethereum one. Let's see. Ooh, nice drop on Cardano. Look at that beauty. I'm gonna need to see if I can pick up some more Cardano in my positions. Solana, you see it's basically market wide, but all these dumps they all follow Bitcoin. So Bitcoin makes a dump, everything else makes a dump as well. But it looks like everything else is starting to come back. I'm wondering if there was some kind of news that might have initiated this dump. On another front, there is interesting news that came out about MicroStrategies. MicroStrategies is rebranding to just, I think, Strategies. Um, MicroStrategies being you know, really the innovator of Bitcoin banking. I don't know what else to call it. Um, they're a real company. They do some technology stuff. I'm not really sure what the technology stuff is. I probably should look into it. I do own some. But MicroStrategies, I bought into it more as a just support for them buying Bitcoin, not as a firm investment. It wasn't very expensive when I bought it. Now it's a decent piece of my portfolio. Not a not a huge, but it's a portion of my portfolio now that it's more than 10x from where I think it's more than 10x from where I bought it. Let's see, MicroStrategies. Let's see how MicroStrategies looks. Take this up to the weekly chart because you need the weekly chart to be able to see where I bought it. Um, Hit this little button here. There we go. We can auto price it. And where I bought it was a couple years ago, actually. Yeah, so it's more than 10x from where I bought it. Because, see, I bought it, honestly, back when I bought it and then I put it in my Robinhood to continue buying it back when Michael Saylor announced they were going to start buying Bitcoin. I want to say that was back in 2021. Might have been 2020. I can't remember exactly when Michael Saylor kind of came on the front. But, I bought it and continued to buy it. So I have some, but they're rebranding the company according to, I guess, their release yesterday. Um, I know that there was some news yesterday about them putting a pause on their buying. I'm not really sure what the details of that is, but they are one of the world's largest holders of Bitcoin. So there is a such thing as becoming over leveraged in an asset. Um, and some of these big companies, and this is something that if you listen to some of these channels, they talk about, oh, the country's buying this, buying that, buying. Well, there's only so much Bitcoin left. We're going to run out. What happens if we run out? And that's a legitimate question. Like, oh, that if nobody's selling, the price goes through the roof. It jumps to $100 million asset. Does it? What The reason why it's going to go up in value is because these businesses and companies are going to want to be able to store value. That's the thing with gold. The problem with it, honestly, is what happens if we run out? Or we get so close to run out that the cost is so high that not financially feasible for, people just to continue to acquire, they're going to look for that secondary asset or that tertiary asset. Those are the and so when the crypto reserve um, executive order was signed, I think that there was a lot of smarts in that because, yeah, what happens if the Bitcoin gets a million Bitcoin? The U.S. gets it. I'm sorry. We have all this Bitcoin, and some rumors 5 to 6 million Bitcoin are lost. Well, if they have a million, MicroStrategy has 500,000 or more. I don't know how much MicroStrategy has off the top of my head, but they're up there. You start to end up in a situation where there's less and less and less available, and in order for Bitcoin to really see its potential, there's got to be some that's liquid because it's great if you own all of something, but it becomes priceless, as in no matter how much you're willing to pay, you can't get it. And on the flip side, there's nobody willing to buy it because there's no market. Um, I know that sounds crazy, and but the reality is, people lose interest in things they can't buy. These hedge funds, or not hedge funds, these ETFs, they all have Bitcoin. I'm sure all the hedge funds have Bitcoin. Um, these family offices are acquiring. They're also acquiring through the ETFs. I do think the ETFs bring an entry point for the investors who don't want to own their own Bitcoin personally, but they also bring something else to the table. And what they bring to the table is a way for people to get access to Bitcoin when it's not available. Because there's going to be paper Bitcoin or fake Bitcoin. There's paper silver right now. There's paper gold right now. There are contracts that are out there for silver and gold that don't actually correspond to actual silver and gold. So I don't want to be conspiracy theorist, but you just got to think through what are the ramifications of the supply running out. Every time the miners get some, they sell it, unless the miner happens to be the hodler that's trying to increase their holdings. But it sells, and it sells real quickly. But slowly but surely, it's probably. I mean, we could say 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, Bitcoin, and I would love it. I know a lot of people would, but my ultimate fear is what happens when that occurs. The price gets so high that you're selling, one sat is $1 or whatever, and not gonna be that high. 5 sats is $1. 10 sats is $1. Does it become so out of reach that the interest wanes? Just something I think about from time to time, especially as there becomes more and more interest. There is a such thing as a craze that caps because of supply. But that said, that's where other coins come into play. I wouldn't put it past your favorite billionaire Elon to integrate Doge directly into all of his platforms. That would not surprise me one bit. And that becomes the dollar. What happens if Doge becomes the dollar? If one Doge equals $1, or if he does integrate it, half a Doge equals $1, or one Doge equals $10. Well, where's Bitcoin then? These are crazy questions I ask myself sometimes when I'm thinking about this whole thing. But back to this market. Let's get back to why I jumped on for this particular run. See, here's our drop that we have going on right now. It doesn't look crazy to me. We got we're down to 96.5. What we are at 98.5. That's $2,000. This is like a 2% drop, right? Let's see what the thing says. I'm sorry, we're down 0.7% since the opening bell of, last night. It's what, 6 or 7 p.m. So, we're not down. Look at all the other ones down there. Ethereum's down 3%. ADA's down 3%. XRP is down 2.5%. I think the XRP is interesting because they're still suppressed from. They didn't have as much of a recovery as some of these other ones. Cardano didn't recover all the way either. So, I think what we're going to see is we saw the recovery. Let's go back in here. Let's go back into this chart. And let's take this up to, let's say, the 12 hour. There we go. Let's take this. We're going to see, we got our chart there. You see it bounce back up. Actually, that's going way too far back. Let's see what we got. Let's go to XRP. Okay, so we have our dip. You see it? We bounced back up. Now it's coming back down and testing. And I think we're going to see a test at 220, maybe down to 210 to see if there's support. And then once there's solid support identified, I think we start to crawl back up. And then we'll go up, let's say we go up to 270, and then we'll come back down and we'll find our next level support, 230, 240, whatever it is. I'll do an analysis later and see if I can figure out what that next level of support, because it's got to stair step its way back up. It's got to retest every layer of support that has already been determined as a level of support. It's going to retest them all. We're going to continue to drive up, and I think the money flow is going to drive us up higher, but it's just going to be, I still think that there's, $120,000, $130,000 Bitcoin by the end of February. It's not out of the question. I still think we see $5 to $10 XRP by the end of February, definitely by the end of March, because I think we're at a $5 to $10 XRP is my thought, and I may be wrong. My intuition on these things is not always right, but we'll see it by the end of the year. But I think before tax day we'll see above $5 on XRP. I think before tax day we'll see $120,000 Bitcoin. I do think this is going to happen, and we'll see if it happens. Now I do have that position open we talked about last night. I did add some to it, actually. That position, that MM crypto position, I like calling it an MM crypto position. I need to link him in this to give him credit, but I'm MMC in it. That's what I'm gonna call MMC. Uh, but no, I got that position open. Still low leverage. Still low. Still, like I said, still low leverage. Not breaking the bank. I think I doubled down on all those positions that I opened last night. And I did open a Cardano one eventually when the price was right. They were all in the money earlier whenever the dollar was up, but when not the dollar was up, and actually that might be what's going on right now. They were up earlier when everything was when Bitcoin was above that area of control. I was in the money on everything, but this happens. This is a good buying opportunity. But anyways, I took that Bitcoin position that we set up last night. If you were I took that Bitcoin position. I took it up to 300. Got my cost basis down in the 97,200 range. I may take it up to 400, but right now liquidation point's 47,000. I kind of like that low liquidation point, so I don't know if I'll leverage anymore or not. And then I've got a Cardano position with a 23-cent liquidation point. I've got I got an Ethereum position, 1,800, and my liquidation point right now for XRP is 168. So I want these low liquidation points, and I want to slowly creep the leverage as we go up, but I want to keep the liquidations really low, and I want to keep the entries as low as possible. to make massive returns like crypto. Um, Again, I have not set up the other account for leverage trading on the main portfolio. It would be a good time. Maybe I'll do it tonight to set it up so that we can do some leverage trading with maybe take that $50, put $50 going in today and throw it in a leverage account and see what we can do with it. Regardless, the market is what the market is. I do want to see what the Dixie is. If you don't know what the Dixie is the dollar index, and so we don't talk about. I don't talk about the dollar index that much, but I do look at the Dixie. And the reason I look at dollar, I look at gold, look at silver. I think they all matter. So the Dixie, there we go, the dollar index. So, well, the dollar's down. Why is it? Okay, wait. If the dollar's down, crypto should be up. So this crypto drop is something else. It has not. I was hoping to see the strengthening dollar because when the dollar strengthens, crypto goes up. Now tomorrow morning, I think it's 8:30 Eastern time. The U.S. will release its non-farm payroll or the jobs number, and the jobs numbers. If they come in as expected, there won't be much change. If they come in hot or cold, there will be a change um, in the strength of the dollar. So, because that's going to give us a clue on is inflation helping or hurting the economy. Ultimately, I think we're going to see a lot of this stuff kind of filter its way through. And these big money people, they have all these analysts and everything. They're good at it, figuring this stuff out. It really doesn't come in as expected. If it's you know more or less than expected, that's when it's a problem. But when it comes in as expected, that's when the market reacts. Anyways, that's about all I got for right now. I'm going to keep watching the market, keep on driving, and if something else changes, I'll pop back on.